Hey everybody, Peter Lassar here, and this is episode number 14, if you can believe it. And today we are going to answer a couple of actually really fun questions to answer. And the first is, what do you sell best, really? And the second, I'm going to surprise you with in a little bit. But at the end of this, you get to decide which one of these questions is strategically relevant and important for you, and which one perhaps less so. Okay. And as sort of a prelude to this, whenever I start a relationship with clients, I often ask them, I almost always ask them, what are they best at in their mind? Right. And so this video really comes from that sort of discussion that happens so that we can build a frame of reference for how to build their business in the short to long term. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. If you give me 1 second. And we are going to talk about, what do you sell best? Really? What do you sell best? Really? And when I say best, what I mean is, what are you better at than your competitors? I mean, those people that are in your marketplace that might have overlapping customers with you, as well as those that might have a similar business model to you, and that are known brands but operate in other areas, because we need to compare ourselves to both. Okay, and so what do you sell best compared to those two groups, if anything? Okay. And when I answer that question, I get a lot of, when I ask that question, I get a lot of different answers. Okay. So some will say I actually have the best ingredients, right? In some way or another. So it might be that I'm the only true farm to table, right? Or it might be that, I procure all my barbecue meats this way, or I marinate all my barbecue meats this way so they are the best somehow. Or I'm the only place that is all gluten free, or I'm the only place that all my ingredients are vegan, and or everything I do is to abide by food restrictions, and that has something to do with my ingredient choice. Okay, and so I hear that. Okay, and I pose that question to you: are you best in your ingredients in some measurable way that customers would understand that you were measurably better than everybody else, or not? And a lot of times entrepreneurs will feel that they are measurably better, but then they recognize that actually it's too vague and too gray, or not important enough for customers to ever really recognize that. And if that's the case with you, also, be honest with yourself. Okay. So are you best at selling calories, right? And that really means, calories for the lowest amount of money. Think of McDonald's. McDonald's is traditionally known as the lowest cost 2,000 calorie meal on the planet, right? Or very inexpensive street food stalls might be in the business really of selling calories. Okay. Yes, there's some flavor to them, but they're really trying to get you the most calories for the least amount of money possible. Are you best at that way, or are you not? Ask yourself that. Okay. Are you best at selling nutrition? Right. Sometimes I hear this: I am the most sort of the healthiest place for people to eat. Right. And or I'm vegetarian, right? Or I have some other dietary approach around health that matters to people a ton, right? And if that is you, are you best in the marketplace at that, in a way that the marketplace is recognizing it or not, right? Are you the best sort of foodie place, right? The place that pushes the edge of what food is all about in a way that people can say, "Oh yes, this is the Alinea of my marketplace," right, or the Next of my marketplace, and I get a lot of people that feel like they're foodie experiences, but then they have to compare them to others in the market. They're not measurably the best at all. Okay. And so they have no way to sort of stand head and shoulders and get them above everybody and get the market to see them as iconic. Okay. Are you the best at comfort food? Right. This could be hamburgers. This could be fried chicken. In the United States, it could be any sort of food that is traditional and people uh, love the sort of the food chemistry of it, right? And that we just recognize in our societies as sort of our go-to meals, right? Are you the best some way, the absolute best some way in some sort of comfort food in a way that the whole market understands you to be or not? Okay. Are you the best in time some way? Okay. So there are different ways of looking at time. One could be I give people the most valuable time, right? So a French Laundry or a Noma where you can go and sit for hours on end in these incredibly beautiful environments that have that combination of everything going on to make that moment so intensely valuable, right? Or are you selling time savings, right? Excuse me. Are you selling the idea that you can get a pizza there in 30 minutes or less, as Domino's used to do? Or are you selling that you're the fastest turnaround, like fast food? When you go there, you have your food literally in about a minute, right? And are you in any way best in the market at time that clients will recognize and value you over everybody else or not? You saw this next slide already, but do you have the best location, right? Are you on the best beach in the world or the best lake in your area, right? Or do you have are you the most neighborhood friendly place in terms of your location? Or do you have the best place to swing by from downtown out to a suburb to pick up food, right? And you can use that as a competitive marketing advantage for yourself. So, is your location the best in some way that you can point to the marketplace that it is a better overall location for them? Okay, are you the best environment, right? Inside, right? The most inspirational, aspirational decor and that place that people just want to be sitting inside of or not, right? Are you the best service provider, right? And I get a lot of restaurateurs, as I mentioned many times before, saying I provide more love than anybody else. But do you do it in a way that actually the market would say, oh, they provide more love than everybody else in the market? Or is this just, lip service that you're really not the best because it's very hard to be best at something that is so complex, right? And that means different things to different people, right? But you might try to be like Danny Myers, having the best hospitality in a restaurant business and get to a point where you are measurably the best. But you need to sort of understand whether that is within you now or not, right? And what a lot of restaurateurs, when I ask them this question, they'll say, well, I'm the best experience, right? But they can't really put 3 or 4 words, or at least, no more than a very short sentence to describing that experience. They tend to come up with their list of values and their other mission statement and that, almost nobody can ever remember, right? And that because it's so long, you can never really be best at it because it's not something as simple as the fastest mile or the fastest burger or the juiciest burger, which is a possibility, right? And so they come up with this idea, this sort of lip service answer of I'm the best service or experience because I've combined all these things into a single frame, right? But that's really hard to be the best at in a way that people measure because everybody's got their different experience, whatever that is. And so then they might answer, well, I have this through line, right? And this through line is that I'm the best place to for X or for Y, right? that is not so specific to one part of what they do, but that is specific to everything they do, right? But all those through lines tend to be really difficult to communicate to the market and marketing and to position in the market's brains and minds. And as a result, you often find yourself at a ceiling in terms of revenue potential and income potential, because it's hard to position something that is complex in the market in a way, and then it's hard to keep innovating on something that is complex so you're better and better at it every day and can really say I'm the best in this type of experience. Does that make sense? And and so you really need to think about this in a different way. Okay, the idea of becoming best at something is absolutely critical. We know that the best basketball players in the world, the top 2%, make way more than the next 80% combined, right? We know that the best radiologists make more than all the other radiologists. We know that the best novelists make more than all the other novelists combined, and so becoming the best is really essential. But it's really hard to become best in these things that we tend to think about as restaurateurs. Okay, and so I really should have named this presentation, "What Do They Buy Really?" Because if you understand what your customers are buying and what they're really paying you for, right, then there might be an answer to what you can become best at. And this is where I always end up with my clients. Okay, and so if you're to observe this woman, why is she in that restaurant? Okay, and it might come to you immediately, as it did to me, that she looks lonely, right? And she might be buying a moment in time where she doesn't have to be so lonely, right? And you, of course, have seen probably many customers of yours coming in just because they didn't want to be lonely. They wanted to be surrounded by other people, right? And you'll even get couples coming in who maybe don't have a lot to talk about that night, or need the energy of others to sort of re-engage, and so even more than one person come in to get out of their loneliness, right? And so then you can start to imagine, how do I develop a solution to that need of loneliness, right? And you can start to innovate around this idea that people are lonely and don't want to be lonely, right? um, or you can observe these guys and you might say, well, they're really coming to this place because they want to have a male bonding experience around their favorite team, right? Guys getting together to bond, and they do that through watching sports, right? There are hamburgers in front of them, but they might not say this is the best hamburger in the world, right? They might not say that they're getting their coldest beer in the world, right? And if they were to talk about the experience, which they wouldn't, they would say, I'm coming there because it's the best place for me to go with my buddies to watch sports, right? There's a need that they have and a solution that this and other similar places provide, right? And most restaurants never even get to that level of definition for themselves, right? I am the best place to watch sports, as one example. Okay, what's going on here? What is this person buying, right? And it looks like it's probably late at night. They look like they have a suit on, and so they're probably coming from a long day at the office, right? And they're buying 2 cups of something. So maybe it's a husband and wife or partners, right? Or maybe it's somebody who's heading home bringing something for their partner or their spouse, and what they're buying probably is uh, a solution to the need that they need an easy place after a stressful day to stop by and grab something before they head home, right? And so that we need to give them that easy pull-in solution, that easy distribution channel, as compared to everybody else, to so that they can do that, right? Um, and of course, if they have 10 drive-through options on their way home, then and they're all exactly the same, you're not the best, right? Which is why Chick-fil-A spent so much time and money becoming the best in this area of drive-through, because they recognized there were so many different needs that people have that needed to be solved for, right? I need the best uh, uh, um, drive-through experience in terms of time and value for money as I'm, heading on a long road trip that will sort of fit the needs of my family as a whole, right? That would be one. So we're all solution providers, okay? And if we want to actually continue to grow and become the best at something, because we recognize in our minds that only the best really are the ones that make the most money in the world in every field, then we need to be the best providers of solutions to the needs our customers are asking us for already. And so that's why I spend so much time sitting with clients of mine to observe their customers together to find out what they are really buying within different groups of them and what they're buying collectively that is a standout opportunity for continued development and growth. Okay. And what I want to emphasize for you is this statement from my book, which is that restaurants don't serve food as their primary business. They do not serve food as their primary business. You do not serve food as your primary business. They serve solutions to needs, and food is how their solutions are manifested, right? I'm lonely. Where's the best place for me to go so I don't feel alone? I'm hungry now. Where's the best place so I can get food now? I don't have a lot of budget and I have a big family. Where's the best place for me to go to get something that I can afford and that my family will enjoy, right? All my family, my kids and my spouse together, right? That will have sort of happy needs and healthy needs and so forth. Okay. You're a solution provider. And the way you grow is by solving for needs better than anybody else. And if you are not asking yourself, what are my customers buying from me, and then taking it from there, you're doing yourself a disservice that that is really easy for you to recover from. Okay. If you have any questions for me, you want to reach out, you want to talk, want feedback of any type, my information is below. As I mentioned, in the coming month of October, we're going to get ever more dynamic with this channel. We're going to start to have invited guests, and we're going to start to get into some really incredible issues and case studies and so forth. So I invite you to subscribe to this channel, to like it, and I will see you in episode 15. Take care.